to another edition of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. We are Michigan conservatives, regular guys that love our country. Today's topic is going to be the comments made by Virginia Governor Ralph Northam regarding the proposed abortion bill in Virginia. TJ?
Well, I had to just wonder right off the bat, was Virginia trying to outdo New York? That was the first thing that came to my mind. You know, I listened to various talk shows, and it was almost like they couldn't even believe what he said in a videotaped interview over the radio. And I'm going to paraphrase I'm going to bullet point paraphrase what he said. I would really encourage everyone. I saw it on the Right Scoop website. So I would encourage everyone to see this video, hear what he said for yourself, because it just struck me as so obscene. I was literally speechless. I couldn't get on the phone quick enough and call Mac and say, did you hear what this guy just said? So here's the bullet points. We're going to deliver. We're going to resuscitate, maybe. We're going to talk about it. We're going to make it comfortable, and we're going to talk about it with the mother. He uses the term mother. Then if the mother decides, we're going to terminate. And he calls it the infant too. So they're going to resuscitate the infant. They're going to make it comfortable, talk about it with the mother, and if the mother decides, then they'll terminate. I couldn't believe what I heard. And I thought back immediately. And I'm going to reference a conversation Mac and I had back in 2005. And it's a little off topic, but it's the same mindset. If you recall, back in 2005, there was this poor woman by the name of Terri Schiavo. Through some suspicious events, she was in a coma on life support. Her husband wanted to pull life support. The parents didn't want him to pull life support. The Democrats were siding with the husband. And here's what I'm getting to. As Mac and I were talking about what was happening, I said, Mac, they want this woman dead. They don't even care as to whether or not she'll recover. They want this woman dead. And I think, and now I look at what happened in Virginia. They want it dead. I don't even know how else to say it other than that. Other than they just want it dead.
Marty, your
yeah,
thoughts?
we're so far beyond a blob of tissue is a lump of cells, which is what they used to talk about all the time. Oh, all the fetus is a lump of cells. There's really nothing there. We don't know that anything's there, so what difference does it really make? And what struck me the most about all this is that talk's completely out the window now. There's really, we're just beyond this discussion. It's like the curtain has been raised. And this is what we're really all about. Anybody that doesn't want an infant shouldn't have to take care of an infant, and that's all there is to it. You know, when a doctor he described himself as a pediatrician or a neurosurgeon.
Pediatric neurosurgeon.
Pediatric neurosurgeon. He describes himself as that. So this is surely someone that understands that human life is something more beyond just a mass of tissue. And now it's like, we're going to make it comfortable while we decide whether we're going to off it. And that's just appalling. That's Nazi-like. That's appalling.
What makes it particularly disgusting in my mind is that when you go back to Roe versus Wade, which was on January 22nd, 1973, the Supreme Court ruled 7-2, and let me read this, that an unduly restrictive state regulation of abortion is unconstitutional. With regard to the fetus, the court located that point of capability of a meaningful life. I'd like to know what that means, a capability of a meaningful life. I mean, there are plenty of people I know that are 60 years old that haven't had a meaningful life. Outside the mother's womb or viability. Now today, in 2019, we're talking about a post-birth abortion. Because the baby's been born. And this is so far past Roe versus Wade, and it's like everything else the left does. It evolves into what their end game is, which is, I got to believe they're just in love with death.
A cheapening of life. Cheapening of life, and that's all there is to it. Any human life, it's a burden, unwanted, it's a nuisance, non-productive. Just terminate it. If they can't contribute to the greater good of society, get rid of it. I would just say this also. This is the outcome, or this is where we end up in a society that has atheistic, socialistic beliefs. If you're an atheist and a socialist, this will make sense to you. And it's just, it's so scary. I'll tell you what, don't do this to a puppy or a kitten. They'll throw you in prison.
Yeah, exactly. And Matt mentioned a minute ago about the sort of slippery slope, and it really does exist. Nobody would have imagined the elected official of a major state, any state, saying something like this not that long ago, even 2 or 3 years ago, and now they're saying it, and you know, the reaction really isn't that it is from the right side, you know, but they're actually more upset that this guy was caught in a picture in blackface 35 years ago, and that's the thing that's going to remove him from office. No matter how bad you think that is, and it certainly is insulting, I'll concede that myself, no matter how bad you think that is, he's going to end up stepping down from office because of what amounted to youthful indiscretion, and not because he advocates infanticide. And that's just bizarre. That's bizarre.
Going back to that slippery slope thought, I have a quote here from Dr. Mildred Jefferson, who was one of the co-founders of the National Right to Life. She was the first black woman to graduate from Harvard Medical School. In 1983, she made the comment, "Abortion is today's Holocaust." And that's exactly where we're headed. Another quote from her is, "Today it's the unborn child. Tomorrow it's likely to be the elderly or those who are incurably ill. Who knows that a little later it may be anyone who has political or moral views that do not fit into the distorted new order." Now, we're told we're immoral because we want to have border security, or that we have a wall, while they have them around their homes at the same time. It's ironic, I think.
Yeah, they get the concept. They get the concept of security, and I don't want to extrapolate too far from the abortion question right now. But you know, in my mind, with all due respect to all my friends out there who do disagree with me, if you're going to be in favor of something like this kind of abortion, this kind of infanticide, I personally think you lose the moral authority to talk to me on any other issue. I really do.
I would agree.
If you're not going to protect life at its weakest, you know, at its most fragile, then do I really trust what you've got to say about illegal immigration? Can I really trust what you've got to say about the homeless question? You know, I think it's fair for us to bring that into the discussion. If you're not going to protect these children, you know, then what do you really care about protecting all these other people? Except, of course, that it keeps you in political power.
I think it comes down to a question of it just being sheer evil. And I'll quote the late, great Archbishop Fulton Sheen when he said, "A bad man will steal, lie, cheat, perhaps even murder. But an evil man seeks to destroy what is good and innocent. And what can be more innocent than an infant?"
If the infant's not viable, if the infant can't contribute to society, who else can't contribute to society? That's the next question that's going to be asked.
Yeah, and as I get older, I'm contributing less and less. To be quite honestly, I am.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
where do you draw the line?
I can't help other people like I used to. We have a neighbor lady who, on occasion, needs things lifted and carried, and my ability to do that is getting to be less and less almost on a daily basis. And so, am I no longer viable? Your thoughts, TJ?
I think the question is, at what point do you draw the line? And what I mean by that is, who's productive and who isn't. You know, if at any age, the elderly, you know, with Obamacare, remember the bumper sticker? Because grandmas lived long enough. Remember that bumper sticker?
No, I didn't see
because
that.
grandmas live long enough. I mean, it is kind of a follow through on this mindset here.
Yeah. We got to be careful too, I think, when we talk about productivity, because I'm not sure that's really is the linchpin of the question anyway. You know, if we're ones to believe that a human life has infinite value, then exactly how productive that life is kind of a secondary question. I mean, I think we all want to live productive lives. We all want to contribute to society. We want to help our friends and our family. All these things we call productive, and ultimately they're kind of secondary. Although it is interesting that you don't get a chance to be productive if you're not born. We don't even get a chance to see that.
That's a certainty.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for watching today. If you like what you heard, like what you saw, hit subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time. Just remember to be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me. Thank you.